Hello everyone, welcome to Plum Bob Cubed. This is kind of bonus content for 100 days in Riverview. We are going to be making our lovely protagonist for 100 days in Riverview, Tazia Abara, in this beautiful episode. So if you watched yesterday's video, you already know all her traits and all that fun stuff, but I'd like to go over some more things and also, get some content out this week. There are actually going to be 5 days of videos this week because we published on the 1st a video that went absolutely insane. Lepacy episode 31. It currently has like over 200 views, which is wild to me. We have the 2nd. We published the building, like the house, building, the speed build for the Keaton house. The 3rd, yesterday, we're going to have Tazia's like intro, the whole introduction to the series of 100 Days in Riverview. Today, Thursday, I'm not recording this on Thursday, but I'm in your shoes. That's going to be this video. And then Friday, of course, be on the lookout for Master and the Brawler, a series that I enjoy playing around with sometimes too, It's fun. I cannot believe that Vita died still, but I'm getting there, still in shock. But I'd love to talk more about Tazia and more about Riverview. So Riverview's official description on the store, Sims 3 store, is that along the banks of the Simomon River lies the sleepy town of Riverview. Many have moved to the serene little town to escape the clamor of city life. Will the current residents let the newcomers in on the town's little secrets, or will they do their best to keep their dirt from being unearthed? That is very interesting. Now, I specifically remember reading that Riverview was like a farm town, and I'm not exactly sure where I got that after reading the description on the official Sims 3 store. So naturally, I googled Sims 3 Riverview town description. And the first result says, like Sunset Valley, Riverview is very large compared to the previous games. Although it is a small town with an idyllic, I can't say words, country setting, it's dotted with farms, beautiful pastures, and nestled along a winding river, known, according to the world's flavor text, as Simomon, right? And so since I remember it as that lovely town and being like, how do I say this? And being a farming town, I thought, her main trait should be that she's a green thumb. Like, that's super important to Riverview and the gameplay that it has. It's a farm town. And my goal with Tazia is actually to eventually, like, have her make a farm. And I have some fun mods that we can do, like, livable sheep is something that is a mod that exists that I'm looking forward to including with her eventually, like, once we're more settled in Riverview, along with what else? Well, we have gardening faster and gardening more fun, of course, because that just makes my life easier, We also have flower arranging as a mod, so once Tazia starts growing flowers, we'll be able to, like, use that. And then from the store content, you could see this in the Keaton house, and the Keaton house and the episode 31, I have the store content that is positioned on, if we're looking at it from the street, the left side of the house, and there's specifically a lemonade stand, but also a garden selling stand. So I'm thinking that Tazia will absolutely use like the garden selling stand, and that is how she's going to make some of her money as a sim through selling like the things that she makes. I think that will be really exciting for her. Now, I do have a question for all of you because I really only play The Sims when I'm recording. Like, I played The Sims a whole bunch before this, before I started this channel because I love The Sims 3, and then life came along, and so now doing this channel with life requires me to, like, prioritize. I want to record and produce content because I enjoy the editing, I enjoy all of the thumbnails, I enjoy communications and marketing, to be frank. So it's a little rough. But one thing that I have never really explored in The Sims 3 is collecting. And so I actually started filming the second episode of 100 Days in Riverview because it's pre-recorded. The whole idea is that if something does happen in my life, like what happened during December, basically, although I have shut down, the channel does not. And you guys keep having content to watch and be able to enjoy, even if I'm going through a little bit of a rough time. And so my idea for Tazia is that we don't want her to work a traditional like 9-to-5 job where she just disappears. I understand that if I want to avoid that, I could get Zerbo's ultimate career mod. And I believe I mentioned that in the video from yesterday with Tazia. Or actually, this might have been mentioned in the second that I am not going to publish. Well, I deleted it. I didn't save the game. Is that I'm not exactly sure of how Zerbo's works, because if it works that like there's still the science field that your sim just disappears into a rabbit hole, that's great. That would be great for like families like the Keatons when there's so many sims going on, like a household of 8 sims. I love sending them to rabbit holes so I don't have to deal with them every single time. You know, that can be helpful. Having the option for a rabbit hole or an in-person career is something that's important to me. So for Tazia, having an in-person career would be good because that's more content, that's more interesting to watch. That gets us the full, how long was last episode? The whole 26 minutes of content, you know? So I was thinking, okay, she's not going to have a traditional job, so let's see what we can do. I have NRS careers, so I understand that we can register as self-employed, and self-register as employed through kind of more standard careers. And so the two that I saw that worked for Tazia was homemaker, thinking that like, oh, she's cleaning the house, she's gardening, she's making food, she's a homemaker. And I clicked on that, thought it'd be great. And homemaker specifically about taking care of children. So that was a problem. So I said, okay, let's try collector. Let's try someone who collects stuff. And we signed up for that. And I started trying to collect in Sims 3 Riverview and with the gameplay. And I discovered something that I had thought of before. And I want to express it in words to you. How do I make collecting interesting for you to watch? I do not know. Because collecting is like you're just scouring around, looking around, trying to find all the things. I'm moving my mic with me as if you can see my face and like this is dynamic content. I don't know. And the problem with that is I don't know what to say because I'm just scouring the ground of Riverview. It's like, do I see movement? Are there any bugs? Is that a seed? Is that a rock? Like, I'm not being engaging or entertaining, so why would you watch? And so I'm interested to see, do you guys know any ways that collecting collectibles is interesting and engaging to you? And what kind of things you would like to hear have like the voiceover be for collecting? Because one idea that I have is just pass it over to voiceover Grace, give it to editing Grace, and be like, she's gonna entertain you and talk about collecting while I put this on fast speed. Or do a montage, because this is pre-recorded so I can get ahead, so I will have more time for editing. So maybe I could do a montage. That'd be nice. I'm just not sure. Other than that, another question I have is, how do you make money without a regular job in The Sims 3? Because my brain goes to fishing, right? My brain goes to fishing because you don't need to spend money to be able to fish. So you should just be able to fish, no problem. But the thing is, Tazia is hydrophobic because I thought, haha, it's named after water. The town's named after water, but the whole thing is that it's a farming town, so she'll just be a farmer. It'll be like great content. It'll be kind of funny that she's a farmer because that's what the town's about, even though the name is Riverview because the town really isn't about exploring the rivers. So it's totally fine to make her hydrophobic. How do I earn money if she can't fish? Collectibles, right? But I don't know how to make collectibles interesting. And the problem with gardening is that, yes, you can make money through gardening, but you need plants to grow, and we don't have any plants growing yet. So I am in moral distress about this. If you cannot tell, I am frustrated because I understand that a lot of people play The Sims for challenge, right? And part of that challenge is gaining money in The Sims 3 and being able to provide your Sims with like a stable life. But for me, I'm like, okay, you get up to your stable life, now we can do some fun stuff. Like with the Keatons, we're buying the museum in episode 32. That's gonna be super fun. With the Master and the Brawler, like we're telling the story and the plot line of what happens after Vita dies. The whole point and the whole thing that makes The Sims interesting to me is like plot lines and what stories we can tell. And so when I have a Sim that's like struggling for money, I was kind of like, well, damn, I can't have you talk to other people. I can't narrate over what you're saying to them. What am I supposed to do then? I don't really know, because I just normally would send my Sim the way I normally play, send them to a 9 to 5, like rabbit hole job, then they come back, and then we do fun stuff. But specifically, I want to explore Riverview without the guise of a 9 to 5 regular job, because you might want to just collect in Riverview, and the jobs are just base game jobs. They're just absolutely regular, absolutely normal, and you can kind of see them in any other like Let's Play you watch. And if you want, do you want a like one-off videos of going over different things in The Sims 3? Because if you want, we could do some one-off videos of going over every single base game career and giving like a guide. I don't know. I have new equipment. I think I actually have like a schedule for how I'm going to maintain this figured out. And so I am down for any of your ideas, anything that you're interested in seeing. I would love to be able to incorporate it. I have a lot of my own ideas, like this series that we're trying to incorporate. And I want to incorporate your feedback, which is, why it's great to comment if you can. No, I always say no pressure, because I don't want you to feel like I'm stressing you out, because I get stressed out. I have really weird socialization sometimes. My apology. Why am I apologizing for existing? I don't know. Talking of 9 to 5s, it's actually something that I do want to talk about right now, because I actually just got off from work and I work a 9 to 5. And something that's interesting to me in my 9 to 5 is that I'm not really being utilized. And so because of that, I need to make a resume again. And my old resume was just Google Docs, like pretty easy stuff. But now that I've worked like in design field, I know how to use InDesign and I have access to InDesign. Like I have the Adobe Creative Cloud Suite. So there's no reason, no excuse I have that I'm not using InDesign to make my resume. And so I need to figure that out. One thing that is also interesting to me is hearing about my loved ones' reactions to different careers. I'm just like, oh yeah, the drive's only like 40 minutes away and it pays $4 better. And my family's just like, yeah, and where's that $4 going to? Your gas. It's not worth it. And I think that's so interesting, because I think in my head, we all live in this happy-go-lucky world where we're picked up 1 hour before our job starts and there's no cost of gas. Because I play The Sims 3. And in The Sims 3, the world is really just one town or one city, right? And because of that, my brain's just like, yeah, any transportation would just be within the city. So any job that shows up in Indeed, I can totally apply for, It's like the Sims 3 newspaper. It's totally like recommending stuff that's in my best interest for me, rather than me having critical thoughts. That's too hard to have critical thoughts. One of the things I was enjoying playing around with here with Tazia was basically seeing all of the clothes options that we have and getting to play around with what she's wearing and all that fun stuff. I love seeing the things that movie stuff came with and all the different costumes. I just think that's really interesting, and it shows real creativity on the game maker's parts, which I think is pretty cool. And now you can see me trying to make things Tazia's favorite color. Her favorite color is aqua, which is that's what she came with. That's what they said her favorite color was. So I was like, yeah, absolutely. Your favorite color is aqua, girl. And I was kind of just talking about other things over the process of Tazia being made with like faces and stuff. But if you guys like how I make Sims faces, hey, I appreciate that. Thanks. A like would be great if you think I make Sims that are pretty. A dislike if you think my Sims are ugly would be great too. Have some feedback. Give me some. How do I say this? It's feedback, right? It's just feedback. That's the word I'm gonna use. But what I want to say is that if you guys do like the way I make my Sims, I would, love to maybe make some videos about that. I don't really have a specific way. I do have some sliders now, and I do have some CC of like default eye replacements, default skin replacements, default hair replacements, and for Guy Sims body hair. I did just download more moles, but I already had more freckles, which if you watch this back, I tried to put some freckles on Tazia just to give her skin details, but one thing that The Sims 3 struggles with, just the base game, but also sometimes content creators, is that the freckles are more pale skin friendly rather than Sims with darker skin, which always frustrates me because I know people of color who have freckles and they have darker skin, but when I put freckles on my Sims with darker skin, it's just orange, and that's very frustrating. I don't like that. So if you guys have any recommendations for like freckles that show up on darker skin tones for the Sims, that would be great. I'd really appreciate it. And I would love to see your recommendations. Let me know what you want us to do in Riverview. Again, a like, subscribe, a comment means so much. Just watching means so much. So thank you for watching, tuning in this long, and I hope you have a lovely day. Bye-bye.